my colleagues on the dais from the central and state government, representatives from the state governments, from industry associations, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. We have tried to set the tone for this national workshop through the concept note which has been circulated earlier and through the virtual workshop which was organized around a week ago, where we listened to several good suggestions and we tried to incorporate those ideas before we were able to finalize the concept note that has been circulated for wider discussion. The whole aspect of circular economy has been clarified in considerable detail during our past interactions as well as through these communications. And I think a tone was set by Mr. Anant Ramu when he said that from metal age, stone age, we have unfortunately come to the era of garbage. And that is the real challenge. So the whole concept of circularity actually looks at three main pillars. Why this whole idea of resource efficiency and circularity is actually a win-win in so many ways. First and foremost, it is the way to maintain and to manage the impact of waste, the impact of this garbage, which is otherwise going to have a very, very negative impact on the environment. Circularity is the way to minimize further extraction of material, because recycling material and reuse of this material in the production value chain actually not only brings about efficiency in terms of resources, financial as well as other resources, but it has less of a negative impact when we extract virgin material from the environment. And what is the third aspect? What is the economic dimension to it? There is a whole untapped potential for skill development and for employment as well as entrepreneurship. And this is the aspect that actually should bring all our efforts together onto a very planned and systematic course of action. That is why, in the best traditions of cooperative federalism, the central and state government, and by central government we mean not only the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, but the other line ministries, sister departments, we and the state governments, we need to work together first to recognize the potential of this entire principle of circularity and to also recognize the potential harm that it has if we do not address this challenge. Along with this whole approach of cooperative federalism, we need to bring in the involvement of the entire society. That is why whole of government and whole of society approach is the only way that we will be able to make this whole approach and this whole philosophy of circularity succeed at the ground level and actually achieve some concrete outcomes. When we talk about whole of society approach, we must understand that today the whole management of waste as we see it is something that affects not only our cities but our rural areas, and in the absence of clear institutional systems, in the absence of capacity building of the local bodies, whether of rural or urban areas, we would be only talking about the philosophy and the principles, but long-term sustained impact would not be ensured. So when we talk about skill, we of course need to focus on the technical skills, because when we retrieve wealth from this so-called waste material, when we retrieve precious metals from electronic and electrical items, when we properly manage waste tires to retrieve carbon black, and so many other examples are there. All of this, of course, requires skill upgradation, and that is why we have specially reached out to the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. There is a huge focus on skill development, and in this year's budget, I'm sure all of you are aware, and I hope that during the course of the discussions, this would be discussed in more detail. There is an entire focus that is being given to skill development, to upgrading ITIs, to taking skills to the next level. So identification of the skill sets that are required to actually embrace circularity in its true sense, that identification and then putting into place the institutional support systems so that we have good, robust training and certification systems in place, then ensuring employability of the skilled workforce, or even entrepreneurship of the skilled workforce would be the third aspect of this. But the other, as I mentioned, the involvement of the local bodies and their skilling is also important. And in this sense, skilling would refer to capacity building. So the skilling of the informal workforce that is engaged in collecting waste, in segregating and aggregating it. So what are the skill sets they require? What is the protection that they require? Because the kind of waste they are collecting on a daily basis is very often hazardous, harmful to their health. So how are we taking cognizance of these requirements? And we have to skill them, we have to make them aware of what kind of protective steps they need to take. So the systemic improvement of the waste collection systems, and then efficiency in the collection and aggregation, and then their further movement onto the recycling units, efficiency that the recycling units will bring in through better technology, better skill sets, and so on and so forth. How the kind of recycled material is going to fit into the production plans of those entities, those enterprises that would use this recycled material also is very important. Because if that gap remains, we would be doing very low-level kind of recycling and processing, and perhaps that would not meet the requirement, and perhaps it would not fulfill the true potential for upscaling this recycled material. To back this entire framework of proper waste management, we have the EPR regime. And I'm sure all of you are aware, and we've discussed it in several workshops even before this. The EPR rules have been brought out so that there is a legal backing to all the efforts that we do and the responsibilities of producers, importers, and brand owners that would create the value chain which will lead to a robust, complete connectivity on the EPR portal of all participants of the value chain. But even this EPR portal, how to make it more robust, how to strengthen it, how to address issues. We had a brief discussion around a couple of weeks ago in Telangana, and we got some very good suggestions and issues and challenges that were flagged by several of the representatives from waste management associations. So all of these are very important. This kind of feedback is what we need to be able to address this and bring into place a much more implementable, pragmatic, and result-oriented legal framework. Apart from the legal framework, we also must recognize that not everything that has the potential for being recycled actually necessarily has to be mandated. When we talk about agri-residue, here there is no EPR obligation that we are looking at, but this agri-residue, this agri-waste is there, and it is not being put to proper use in the sense that the farmers are not being able to realize the value of this waste. So if there are good models that states have put into place or entrepreneurs have put into place to realize the value of this agri-residue, here, as I mentioned, there is no mandatory regime that would be in place, but it is just that we would be missing a huge opportunity for doing this kind of bio-recovery, for bringing back this waste into the production value chain in some way or the other. Similarly, waste, so animal and human waste, whether it is in the urban or rural areas, this also has the potential to be properly managed, recycled using the right methodologies, and then that kind of inert matter, is it possible to use it as compost, as organic inert matter that can go into our horticulture and agricultural activities? There are one-off models, but at a large scale, we haven't been able to bring considerable amount of success to these initiatives. So if there are suggestions that can take forward good models for agri-waste management, for human and animal waste management, and of course industrial waste that I have referred to, where through the EPR regime already several types of waste items are getting addressed, and there are some more which are in the pipeline. All of these would enable us to work together and to realize the potential of this entire principle of circularity. And finally, I would like to say that we need to have a very clear focus. We need to have a very clear target in mind. This discussion, whether it was in a virtual mode or today in a physical mode, should not result in a statement of intent and good and supportive actions being kind of hailed as very path-breaking initiatives. We need to take this forward to the next logical step. And there has to be some very specific activity that we indicate that can be initiated in states, that can be taken up by municipal bodies, that can be taken up by the ministries at the central government level. So what are these actions that we will do? Will we be equipping our ITIs with the kind of know-how that will enable them to take circularity into their skill development programs? Will we be able to suggest very clear financing models that can actually address the challenge of financing? Will we be able to highlight and maybe draw attention to certain good models in states for recycling zones or clusters that have come up, and how these are successful and how these can be adopted and scaled up in other states? So this is the kind of outcome that I would hope would result from this brainstorming and from this sharing of thoughts through this day-long workshop. And after that, the feedback notes from all stakeholders, from officers of different departments, from the state governments and central governments. This is what we would then look at as building blocks to the final well thought out action plan that I'm sure will be the result of the discussions, that because there is a very clear understanding across the board that indeed this is the way to go. So let us devise a good and practical way forward, so that when we have the conference in November or December, this particular line that of circular economy and the particular set of people who are gathered here today and who have been interacting with us ever since this theme got picked up, we would have the satisfaction that we indeed put our time and put our thoughts together in such a manner that it is going to be very beneficial for our country. Thank you.